Washington said that a well-armed and well-equipped and well-trained militia is essential to maintain freedom.
What are your thoughts on the prospect of civil war in America if the citizens' guns are confiscated by the UN or other troops in raids or through an executive order?
I really hope it doesn't get that far, but there's every possibility that it could.
John Howard and the guns buyback sort of scheme, do you reckon that might happen?
Well, yeah, they're planning that now.
Oh,
yeah, they want to do it for automatic weapons and semi-automatic weapons and magazines that hold over 8 clips or something like that. I mean, it's something about limiting magazine sizes and automatic weapons.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. Wet, dirty and muddy for sure.
Aussie Beach TV. Remember to see it on Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV. The hottest girls you ever see.
Put some muscle into it, mate.
Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV.
Alright, let's get ready for the real mud.
The hottest girls you ever see.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV, mate.
What's next? Oh, mate. Talk about a rabbit-proof fence. I'm a dirty little bunny. I lost my ears, I lost my tail, but at least I'm not naked. Turn up your TV and watch me on Aussie Beach TV. Cheers, mate.
Aussie Beach TV.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
You're
watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
The hottest girl.
Hi, I'm Jodie and we're down here for the Gold Coast 600s in Surfers Paradise. And your name is?
Georgie.
Nice to meet you.
And what are your thoughts on the red light cameras and speed cameras?
It's all bullshit. Just all bullshit. Absolute stupid.
And this year at the GC 600, there has been a no burnout rule for the race car drivers, and the drag races have been cancelled. Do you think this is a good idea?
It's a joke.
Burnouts for everyone.
Yeah, not a good idea.
No, it's very, very bad. If professionals can't do burnouts, who can do them?
Have you had your tangy yet?
Can't do that. Not at all for pedestrians.
Absolute cabbage.
No, half the people that come up here for a good time and go out to a lot of the bars. So if they brought that in, they mightn't get anybody here. Shut up! It made me depressed. You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
They're going to put that piercing thing on it, eh? Somewhere. I didn't know if you were going to record those like,
Israel, in my opinion, is a rogue nation.
Violence in the Middle East has flared up again. Please explain the situation in your own words so that we here in Australia can better understand.
Okay, I mean, obviously it's a very complex situation, and the reality is that most of the Western media only pumps out one version of events, which is the Israeli version of events. But before I go into deeper explanation, let me make the observation that there are many, many people who are resident in Israel, many Jewish people, who are as annoyed, upset and frustrated at what's going on right now as people everywhere else in the world. It is not true to say that everybody who lives in Israel, all the Jewish people, support their government.
You recently travelled to Gaza. What are your thoughts on the ongoing violence there?
Look, it's absolutely shocking what's going on in Gaza. What I found when I went to Gaza was a very, very beautiful, very warm people, totally dispossessed people, forgotten people, and people with no voice. It's like they are treated as if they're surplus humans. And I think the world really needs to pay attention to what's going on in Gaza. The recent violence here that we've seen by Israel against Gaza is unforgivable. It's absolutely unforgivable. You've got to bear in mind that the Gaza Strip is an area 5 miles wide, 25 miles long. It's home to 1.6 million people. 1.2 million of those people are women and children. There's over 800,000 children in Gaza. Over half the population is children under the age of 18. Any bombing and attack on a population like this is unforgivable.
We can destroy the whole population altogether.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to. I mean, the ongoing dispute between Israel and Palestine is nothing short of ethnic cleansing, and it's been going on since 1948. And the world needs to pay attention.
Hi, it's Joel here from Aussie Beach TV, and today we're down at the only Australian supermarket in Enoggera.
G'day folks, it's Jack Russell down here for Aussie Beach TV. We're at the only Oz supermarket.
Katie, tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about your store.
Well, a few years ago, about 8 years ago, my husband and I, we have started our family, and I'd go shopping and I wanted to buy Australian products, and I couldn't buy them in the stores. I'd read every label, and a lot of products just weren't in the general stores. We have free delivery to most areas of Queensland, Sydney and Melbourne. When you shop here, you know that every dollar you spend is staying in Australia. When you buy Australian, you're employing Australians. So always, whenever you can, buy Australian made from Australian owned companies, because you know the money's staying in Australia and you're giving someone a job.
G'day, you're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. We're down at the Conscious Cafe with the lovely Petra Helisic. Petra, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you, Claire. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too shabby.
Years ago, I started looking at natural ways of hearing things, and I came across a lot of information. A lot of my friends and family were asking me for a lot of information that I kept researching and sending them, and in the end it just became obvious for me to put it into a website so anybody can actually access it and have
freedom of information.
Freedom of information and make their own conscious choice about what they want to do, because there is a lot of information out there and people really don't know where truth lies. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
What are your views on it, Max?
Genetically modified food is being used to basically genetically modify the human race. We've got a huge experiment which is being conducted globally, and we're finding that everything, even the plants and animals, are being genetically modified through the introduction of genetically modified organisms into our ecosystem. These things are incredibly dangerous, and as Petra said, it's Russian roulette. We don't really know what the results will be, although in many cases we do. We do know that 3 generations of eating genetically modified food will cause sterility in every species that they've tried it with, for example. So what we see really is a depopulation program. You know, once we have specific breeding programs, you know,
Cut down the human population pretty much.
Well, absolutely. And if you start feeding GM food to people, you alter the organism, and as I mentioned earlier, we basically live in a people farm. We've got governments which are basically the CEOs of a people farm. In order to make this people farm more profitable, you need to be introducing diseases into the livestock so that you can sell them medicines. So you find that a lot of the genetically modified foods and Monsanto and all this sort of stuff have huge links to pharmaceutical companies as well. It's all tied together. They create the sickness, they create the imbalance in the organism, so that they can create sickness, so they can sell you food, and they also genetically modify you to create a certain genetic environment for certain plans they may possibly have in the future.
Wow. Yeah. You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
Hi, my name's Sky Hattie and you're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
Aussie Beach TV.
Hi, my name's Sky Hattie. I'm 22 years old and I live on the Gold Coast in Parkwood. I grew up in South Australia and moved up to the sunny Queensland when I was 10 years old. I love everything about Australia. I love the sun, the sand, the beaches, the people. Just everything about Australia is just fantastic. I love it.
You're watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV.
My sport of choice is gymnastics, cheerleading, circus, all that kind of stuff. I did gymnastics pretty much all my life when I was growing up, and then I transitioned on to circus and cheerleading now. What I love about bikini sports and bikini obstacle course racing is that we get to show off what we've worked so hard to achieve with our bodies, and it's great, great fun. We get to do all the stuff we've been training so hard to achieve. And you guys at home are going to love it.
Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV. The hottest girls you ever see.
Hi, my name's Sky. I'm a bikini athlete and I want you to sponsor me for bikini sports on Aussie Beach TV. I have some great advertising space here for hire. Here and here. The kind of sponsor that I want to attract is obviously some kind of fitness or health company, because I am a very fit kind of person and I want to show off these ones and these ones and these ones, and I'll make you proud.
The hottest girls you ever see.
You can get all your bikini sports action right here on Aussie Beach TV.
G'day, you got K-Mate here from Aussie Beach TV at the Bentley Blockade. Could you please tell our viewers who you are and what you're here for?
Certainly. Hi Kay, my name's Sue James. I'm from Dunoon, which is a village just half an hour away from here up in the hills next to the Shannon. And we were one of the first villagers to actually lock the gate. Our village, we jumped on very quickly and locked the gate. It was a process of surveying all the properties in the area and asking them if they were for or against CSG. And in the village of Dunoon, we actually got 99% against CSG who wanted to lock the gate.
Seems like you have a very intelligent people in Dunoon then. Could you please tell us about the movement here in Bentley and explain a little bit of the history of the camp to our viewers at home, please?
Sure. The camp was first set up in February. There was 4 or 5 people that actually came here to camp to start to encourage people to move in. The camp's established itself, as you can see, to something quite unbelievable. We'd never expected this at all, and the infrastructure here is second to none, even to the point of having a DA approval by council to be here. I've never experienced that in a protest camp before. It was unbelievable. I had a phone call at 6:10 in the morning to tell me that the PEL 16, which is the name of the licence to mine for gas here, has been suspended. My reaction was, oh come on, where did this come from? This can't be happening. What? I don't have to face 800 police on Tuesday morning? I was ecstatic. I was absolutely ecstatic.
Now, could you please tell us what your message would be to the CSG companies?
The CSG companies, don't even try with the Northern Rivers. It ain't going to happen.
What is your message to the Australian politicians?
The Australian politicians need to actually stand up and listen to what the people have to say to you. We have such a strong community here. This community is only going to spread to the rest of Australia. And the rest of Australia is going to demand you do something about this. The rest of Australia is going to demand that you have a democracy here and stand up and protect the environment and the people that want the environment protecting.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. Cheers, mate.
You're watching me.
You're watching me.
You're watching me.
You're watching me.
You're watching me and Dominique on Aussie Beach TV. Footy versus freedom!
What is your name and where are you from?
My name's Jack Russell. I live out the back of Ipswich, mate.
My name's Lachlan Dalby. I'm from Brisbane, local. Kevin Price from Townsville.
Carolina from Sweden.
Cornelius from Denmark.
And I'm Maria from Denmark as well.
My name is Ben and I'm from here.
Barbara and Colin.
My name is Porrick and I live in Annerley.
In the news this week, there has been football grand finals. Have you been enjoying the competition and how did your team go?
Oh, mate, I love the footy. And the Bunnies are in the final, mate. Can you believe it? The Bunnies made the grand final. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait for this weekend.
Can you tell us what else has been in the news this week?
No.
Tony Abbott, probably. But, yeah, that's it.
No, I haven't really checked the news this week, actually.
We've just spent a week in Cairns doing absolutely nothing, so haven't been checking up on the news.
Oh, well, obviously there's the anti-terrorism laws, which have passed the Senate now, which are frankly quite scary. The idea that somehow we're going to give away rights that took us centuries to gain, just for a passing security threat, which happens to be conveniently timed with a massive slump in Abbott's polls. And that to me says something about the way in which we can be manipulated using fear and really quite base tactics.
I think that Benjamin Franklin, although on the surface you can look at it from a one-dimensional view, I think it has, a multi-layer view when you actually understand history and you actually understand how governments can be dangerous when they start to manipulate you to hand over your rights rather than them taking it by force. And that's exactly what's happening in Australia. So it's, you've got to stand up for the freedom that we do have left, the little freedom that we do have left, because each and every day, especially from what the last 2 weeks have told me, it's going very quick. People need to understand it's not their police that are the enemy. The police are one bounce check away from being with us too. Don't divide yourselves amongst each other, whether it's Muslim and white, whether it's police and citizens. we're all in this together. The real enemies are the ones that are behind the curtain, the ones that are behind Parliament, even in Parliament now, because they're the ones that are influenced by the corporations. Understand that they are the enemy, and that no matter what happens, we need to continuously remember that. So I do believe that a police state is unravelling in this beautiful, you know, we may not be able to stand here in a couple of months, you know. So I'm definitely concerned about it, and I want to get the word out as much as I can before this happens.
Government-sponsored news, I think that's the future, yeah? You can trust your government, you know that.
My hate for government, media and police escalates every single day with the more stuff I read about them.
Watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV.
Today we're at Mooloolaba Beach with Ashley Metcalf, the girlfriend of Ben Wilson from the Free Ben campaign on Facebook. Could you please tell the viewers from home the events surrounding Ben's arrest under the VLAD laws?
It all started on the 7th of December. We were setting up the 12-gauge clothing store because the owner physically could not do it himself, so me and Ben helped him. On the 7th of December we arrived to do the finishing touches before the big grand opening on the 8th. And we saw 3 police officers out the front, so we went out there and invited them in to come look around and see that this was a legitimate clothing store and there was nothing to hide. So they've come in behind Ben and I, they've looked around, asked a few questions, they were happy with everything and left. Ben and I got on with our work and we left that night and went home and was going to get ready to get up in the morning for the big grand opening. So Sunday the 8th of December came around. We showed up at about 8:30, about 8:30. There was one police officer car out the front. We knew that there was going to be more, so we didn't really take much notice to it. And we never thought that we had anything to worry about because everything was fine the day before. At about 10 o'clock, there would have been roughly 20 to 30 police officers in the whole premises. They were breath testing, drug testing and profiling every single car that drove up Thornsburn Street in Bentley. And then they came and searched the jumping castle that we had for the kids for drugs. They defected all of the classic cars that we had there on show for a bike and car show sort of thing. And then they came up to Ben at about 10 past 10, asked for ID. He gave them his licence, which had expired 3 days previous, and they said that they could either fine him or impound his car. They gave him a fine. He was not near or in his car, so that was wrong. And then at about 10:30, I was inside the shop selling clothes. Ben was outside with the rest of the people, his mate that was DJing Casey, and then all of a sudden I was getting yelled at that Ben was getting arrested. I ran outside to witness Ben in handcuffs being escorted out of the premises by 3 police officers, and they would not let me go near him. They said if I went anywhere near him they were going to arrest me too. After that I went to the police station at about 4:30 in the afternoon after they had searched my house. All they found was a Confederate flag, a V for Vendetta mask, the anonymous mask, and a face mask for when you're on your bike, and he broke it to me that he could possibly be looking at 6 months jail time. Since then he's been in Arthur Gorey for nearly 3 months now, and it just keeps getting worse and worse, and there's not much that we can really do about it. I don't see what's so vicious and lawless about having a beer with your mates or helping a mate or buying ice cream for your children. It's wrong. And these are not anti-bikie laws, these are more anti-people laws. They don't affect just bikies, they affect everyday people. And it's wrong, and something needs to be done, and this needs to be stopped.
What is your message to the Australian public about the VLAD laws?
Read it. Go to Google and read the VLAD laws. These are not anti-bikie laws. If you read these laws, you will see that they affect you too. You can be a group of 3, it doesn't matter who you are or who you're with, these affect you. They're wrong and they need to be stopped, and the more people that understand what these laws are about, the better. And that's why I have my Free Ben page as well, to show people that these laws need to be, something needs to be done about it, and it's not just going to affect Queensland. People are going to watch them spill into every other state like they're already beginning to. So all of Australia needs to stand up, not just Queensland.
And how do you feel about the justice system working in Australia?
It's not working. What about, you know, rapists and murderers? And there was those 2 cops that raped that one girl 10 times in Mackay, and they got out on bail like that with full pay and all the rest of it. But my partner sells a T-shirt, helps a mate, and he's in jail for nearly 3 months, up to 6. And this even goes up to 3 years, what, for selling a T-shirt. So cops can get away with raping someone, but my partner can't help a mate. It doesn't work. People judge a book by a cover way too often. Yes, he has a lot of tattoos, but that definitely does not make him a bad or scary person. He's the most kind-hearted person I know. People love him because he's funny, he's fun. He's just a normal, everyday, nice person, so...
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
Watching me on Aussie Beach TV, live here in Nimbin Town at the best MardiGrass known to man. Free the way! Aussie Beach TV, you're watching Aussie Beach TV.
We can use it for fuel, for paper, textiles, building, food, oil. Back in 1945, Henry Ford built a car out of hemp. He ran on hemp oil. How stupid are we? Let's go back in time, look through the history books and see what can be done with this great product.
Aussie Beach TV, you're watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV.
Chuck a dingo, mate.
Ask you 3 questions.
All right.
It eats carbon dioxide, releases oxygen.
G'day, you got K-Mate here on Aussie Beach TV with the lovely Jess and our main man from Bringabong. How you going today, mate?
Very well, thank you.
So what's brought you down to Nimbin MardiGrass today?
Just look around.
First experience.
Of my...
Oh, it's your first time? Yeah. That's mad.
Hi, it's comedian Mark McConville here. Yeah. I'm at the Nimbin MardiGrass with 2 smoking hot chicks and my girlfriend's over there filming this. So life is pretty good right now.
You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. You're watching me on Aussie Beach TV. best way to consume cannabis?
There was something I learned a long time ago. If you use the power of the smoke and don't get addicted to the weed, then you'll have good body energy. So you have a puff. As soon as you know that your consciousness has flipped or changed a little bit, you put the joint down. You don't take any more because you're only going to veg out. That way you can sit there for 20 minutes and meditate, and you're not...
And you mellow out.
Yeah, and then after 20 minutes you can get up and do stuff. If you keep on puffing and puffing and puffing, as we all do, greed, eh? Want to feel better? Want to heal more? No, you don't do that.
My name's Holly Taylor and we're at Redcliffe Square, the medical marijuana march for the sick and dying.
My name's Sally Balkan. The government in this country, its sole purpose for being is to make laws for the people with the clear implication that those laws reflect the will of the people.
Yeah.
And that's just not happening. Under the Australian Constitution, that is their job. If they don't do it, they negate themselves. So I'm educating people on how a practical way to actually take back the power in this country. It belongs with the people.
And do you think that's also why medical marijuana is portrayed so negatively in mainstream media, is because of these big pharmaceutical companies?
Yeah, manufacture of consent. It's been done since media's been around, and it's a very intricate system the way it works. But the big pharma has the money to do whatever they want. So, but the thing is, we have the numbers.
We have the numbers.
We have the numbers, and we are stronger than them.
And that's why we're here today.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
It's very vitally important that publicity is given to the plan to take bikinis off the beaches and put letterboxes on them instead.
I'm the Secretary of the Freedom and Heritage Society of Australia, and I need to say we are not here to say we hate Muslims. It's absolutely not true. We have a positive agenda to affirm and defend our own society and our own culture and our civilization, and we don't want concessions made to an alien culture which will cause us to give more and more and more on a one-sided basis.
We're just having a discussion on the meeting this evening on Mayor Tom Tate's proposal to make the Gold Coast more Islam-friendly.
Totally against it, don't want to see it. It's not for Australia, not for the Gold Coast.
Why is that?
Well, we have different ways of life. I don't think they're going to integrate too well into the society, and, you know, they're problematic worldwide.
Problematic worldwide. Could you give me a little bit more of a description, an example there? What are you drawing off?
Well, not every Muslim's a terrorist, but every terrorist seems to be a Muslim.
Political Islam, and I know the doctrines in the Islamic scriptures very well. Political Islam is about a totalitarian system which doesn't want to share the world, it wants to be the world. And I don't believe that Mayor Tom Tate is particularly religiously concerned in this. I think he's motivated more than anything else by the big dollar signs that are flashing over the idea of far more people coming in here with lots of money.
I think the wonderful thing for Mayor Tate sounds like his backstreet and behind-the-scenes deals with the Qataris. Now, the Qatari people, the bankers, are known to be financing this jihad action in Syria and in Iraq. So that means that Qatari money is directly behind the jihad in Syria and Iraq. So if the same bankers are sponsoring the jihad and Mr Tate's meeting with them, what's on his agenda?
My parents came to this country as refugees after spending 6 months in a tent in the Philippines. We did it the right way. We came in without any handouts. Dad had a 2-year contract to fulfil with the railways, and I think if people come here, they should assimilate. My parents assimilated, we assimilated, we were encouraged to assimilate. So I think it's very wrong to have groups that will not assimilate, that want to bring their laws in, want to bring their problems in.
Well, what would you say to the people out there that perhaps take your views as racist?
Well, it's got nothing to do with race. It's just a matter of having a free and open way of life. If people come to Australia and they're happy to become Australians, well, good luck to them. It doesn't matter where they come from.
They don't like it here. They can go back to their own country and build millions of mosques if they want to. This is Australia. Keep Australia Australians. We can't.
And there you have it, guys.
You're watching me
on Aussie Beach TV.
Aussie Beach TV.
Hello, I'm Janaea, reporting for Aussie Beach TV. We're here at Musgrave Park for the G20 People's March. And here they come down the street. There is thousands of them. People here from all walks of life coming out to support all of their rights and Australia's freedom. Right now we have the march coming towards us. Justice! Now! Justice! As you can see, the crowds are huge. They've come from all over to be at the G20 march. This is insane! There's so many people! Such a big statement for freedom, and we have this going on right now at the Brisbane Musgrave Park West End.
Aussie Beach TV.
Anything do you want to say while you're here? It's Bikini reporting for Aussie Beach TV.
That's incredibly misogynistic and sexist, and it's an absolute reflection of the G20's patriarchal bullshit that is destroying the planet, and to put this beautiful, intelligent woman in a bikini for ratings is fucked up.
Aussie Beach TV.
Hello, it's Janaea here for Aussie Beach TV, and we're here today at the G20 Summit with Jim. What brought you here today?
Hello, I'm Jim. I'm the National Campaign Director of the Hemp Party.
It's very nice to meet you.
And like a lot of people who are interested in civil rights, we're gathering in a park here at the G20, right, to express our outrage at these people who supposedly representing us meeting here, but without taking into account any of our issues or any of our life. That's why there's so many different groups here all gathered together, because in essence what we're all complaining about is being totally ignored by a broken political system.
I'm Catherine Dawn, also known as Feather.
Feather.
I've come from Byron Bay, New South Wales.
Yeah.
And what has brought me to the G20? All right. A passion for the will and the welfare of the people and all life and future generations.
I'm Matthew Rowley, and I'm here to just because the
those people in the glass castles aren't throwing stones.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, it's Jack Russell down here at Musgrave Park. The biggest day of the year here in Brisbane. Like a G20, like a G20, yeah. Like a G20, whoa.
I came from Melbourne. Yeah. And the reason I came here today is this G20 world leaders, they supporting the Ethiopian government. This government is a racist government, ethnic cleansing and killing hundreds of thousands of Ethiopian people. These G20 leaders supporting this government the last 23 years. So we need to tell them that stop supporting this tyranny government. Yeah. That's why I'm here.
Yep. Ness?
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from and why have you come to the G20 People's March Summit today?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Yep.
I have come here to protest against the Ethiopian dictatorship regime.
Yep.
An apartheid regime which is killing its own people. So I've come here to protest against the Ethiopian government.
Yeah, that is very good because now you're going to get your voice heard and everything put across. What is corporate fascism and why is it not being discussed at the G20 Summit?
Corporate fascism, the corporations that control the planet. I don't think it's being discussed at the G20 because they're all owned and bought by the corporations themselves. People don't understand, how do these people get their funding for political campaigns? Yeah. The corporations say, we'll fund it as long as you try and push our agenda in the parliament. Without their funding, they get it, it's hard for them to get off the ground. So how can a government that's supposed to regulate corporations appropriately regulate them when they're being funded by the corporations they're supposed to be regulating?
Yeah. Corporate fascism is a way to describe our global dynamics of private centralized control in unelected, unaccountable IFIs, institutional financial institutions, and the corporations who clearly all the Western-style so-called democracies are pandering to these unelected corporations and the banks.
That's called politics. That's called democracy. It's the system we have voted, that people vote for. I don't vote because I don't believe in democracy. I won't do it.
In my opinion, corporate fascism, from my understanding, is monopoly, which is some corporate companies monopolize the entire wealth of the world. So the wealth is not distributed among ordinary people. It's controlled by few multinational companies. That's my understanding.
Aussie Beach TV.
You are watching me on Aussie Beach TV.
And I'm watching her on Aussie Beach TV.
In the summertime when the weather is fine, you can reach right up and touch the sky. When the weather is fine, you got women on your mind.
See, I get to do that. You guys do it and it's like, poor, not cool, but nice.
We got Tony Abbott recently announcing that Australians need to be prepared to give up their freedoms for what I consider to be a non-existent threat. Unfortunately, we're seeing the same thing everywhere else in the world. We're seeing it in the UK, we're seeing it in the US, in Canada and New Zealand, where this fear porn is being perpetrated to try to get people to literally go, oh, gosh, the bogeyman, yes, I'll give up my freedoms. And they're even now talking about identifying non-violent domestic extremists who need to be treated in the same way as ISIS, which I think is very interesting because they're actually running very scared right now. They know that people are starting to wake up to this massive con, whether it's the financial con or the tax con.
Look, we all get little bits and pieces. Some of them look at, the food, the diet side of it. Others are looking at, getting out of fines, getting out of debt, writing off their credit cards, doing all those sort of things. So I guess people get different things depending on why they came. But at the end of it, when you've watched the whole thing, what you get out of it is, oh my God, everything's bullshit. Like,
we also talk about not-for-profit foundations, how you can operate privately as opposed to publicly, and the difference between the two, and what is a public organisation and what is a private organisation, how that jurisdiction that we spoke about with councils then ties into debts and bank loans and car loans and personal loans and your mortgage.
And by the way, you know what mortgage means?
Paying off your house?
Yeah, paying off your house. Mortgage, death grip.
Yeah.
Mortgage. So in other words, once you sign that document, they've got you.
Yeah.
They've got you, and they know that all you can do is keep running ever faster on the treadmill. So the challenge is actually to sort of step off that treadmill and say, you know what, I actually want to live my life as I want to live it. Yeah. And if I want to make a social contribution in some way, then I'll do that.
Aussie Beach TV.
When the sun goes down, we can make it good and early bye.
Why don't we hear about any of this in the mainstream news and pop culture?
Well, that's very deliberate, because if people knew about it, then obviously they might actually realise that they're being scammed. And the establishment really just want to keep people in this this prison. It is a prison.
The worst thing that you can possibly do is go home and watch the news. Turn your TV off. Don't watch the TV. It's depressing. It's designed to be depressing. It's designed to actually get you into a state of fear, intimidation and hopelessness.
Mainstream media is not really, well, it's showing what they want to show versus what we want to show, if that makes sense.
Exactly right. Turn off your TV and watch Aussie Beach TV.
Aussie Beach TV.
So instead of watching the television to get all of our information, where do we go? Where to get everything? Where do we turn?
It's a great question. Look, first thing I'd say is talk to your family.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to the people that you love. You know, if you interact with them, you turn the TV off, you've got nothing to do. Talk to your partner. I mean, make love to your partner. Talk to your kids. Teach them about this stuff. Don't just stick them in front of the computer or the TV and allow them to just do what they want to do and spend 8-10 hours a day infecting their minds with this sort of stuff. If you're going to go onto the internet, do research. I mean, watch things like you guys, Aussie Beach TV. Get onto our site, Freedom Summits, and it's www.freedomsummits.org. Truthology, another fantastic website. There's over 840 videos on that. You can spend hours and hours and hours researching this information, making yourself aware of so many different topics, but at the same time, educating your family and friends and those that you love, okay?
Aussie Beach TV.
Again, one of the things that hopefully comes out of these conferences is that people will realise that being apathetic is no longer an option. They actually have to get involved.
And it's good for everyone to know that all this stuff's on, so they can.
Well, if you don't know,
yeah,
you know, then unfortunately you live in willful ignorance, or maybe even not willful ignorance, because you just don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
But you know, when you do know, then that comes with a responsibility.
Sing along with us, dee 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 dee, da do da da da. Yeah, we're happy, la do da do da, do do da do do da do do da do da.
You're watching me
on Aussie Beach TV. Woohoo! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi!
This place is insane. There are so many people out to have a good time for Schoolies. Yeah. Okay, so what's the most important thing you've all learnt from school to prepare for the real world?
I don't know. I went to a religious school, so they had like a moral basis there, and they were like, they kind of pushed the fact that you just got to be nice to everyone.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in spite of my education, that's probably the most important thing, regardless of the results and stuff.
No. We learned that we love to drink.
You love to drink?
We love to drink.
Awesome. Is it doing it well?
Not much. Nothing at all.
You learned that a blowjob was called a job for a reason, because that's
That's terrible. And you also learn to pay attention in science.
No help.
Not much? Yeah, not much.
If you do VCE, don't become a bricklayer like me.
Okay. There's a big police presence here at Schoolies. Have you had any runs with the police?
Never.
No?
No, we're too good for that.
Too good for that?
No, I haven't.
That's good.
I've avoided them.
I'm sorry. Being a good girl? I am being a good girl, Mr. Officer.
Been searched 5 times by the Queensland Police Force, these Schoolies.
Yeah, I got a speeding fine. I got a fine for kicking a bin.
Kicking a bin. And how much would you fine for kicking the bin?
Say that again.
How much would you fine for kicking the bin?
I paid $600 for kicking the bin.
Kicking a bin? Any trouble with the police while you've been out in Schoolies?
No. I only just recently had my first breathalyzer.
Oh, really?
In my life.
No.
No?
Yes. No, yeah, they smelled my iced tea because they thought it was alcohol.
They smelled your what?
They smelled my iced tea because they thought I was drinking alcohol. Like iced tea. Like.
Any run-ins with the police?
No.
No? None? Good boys, that's excellent. Okay, so the mainstream media portrays Schoolies Week as a very dangerous environment to be in. Do you feel in danger here at Schoolies?
No, it's definitely dangerous.
Yep.
It's a very, very dangerous environment.
Yeah.
I think if you disagree with that, you're ignorant to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the sense of parents sending their kids up here, I think it's really, you got to have trust in your own kids to keep their wits about them.
Yeah.
I mean, they make their own life decisions in regards to like drugs and alcohol and stuff. But like, you know.
So you still need to be responsible and clued on for when you do come to
My mum would be horrified if she found out about this stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
Do you think she'll be in tune with Aussie Beach TV?
Oh, no one's going to say it's just for my mate's idea, you know. My mum's not that in touch with the internet and social media. It's not going to pop up for her.
Okay.
But I just like to be open and honest with you guys.
Yeah. Do not ban Schoolies! No!
I think it's
Police and everyone.
It's a great chance for Year 12s to unwind after hard exams.
Yep.
It's great.
And we agree with you.
I don't give a shit.
Keep Schoolies
This is my
going.
last year anyway.
No, do not shut it down. This has been the best week of my life.
So we did 13 years of schooling and I need something to, like, celebrate.
Oh, yeah.
Go Schoolies!
The hottest girls you will ever see. Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie Beach TV. You're watching Aussie